Are you ready?
Do I look like I'm ready?
You look more awake than you did 5 minutes ago.
It's just an illusion.
Can you hear the seagulls? No.
Nope. Nope. Can you hear seagulls?
I can hear the seagulls. They are sitting on the chimney tops of the neighbouring house.
And nesting.
No,
No.
because they'd be cooked, I imagine, if they did that.
They
Or
do
smoked.
build nests on chimney tops, no? The dead ones.
Well, yeah, but not in like functioning chimney tops.
No, obviously not.
Yeah, they wouldn't last long.
No, probably not. Although, might be nice and warm under the bum. Bit like floor heating.
Underfloor heating.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Romans had underfloor heating?
No.
That was kind of
It's your friends.
smart thinking. What?
Is that your friends?
The Romans.
The Romans. Roman Lichko. Which Roman? Which Roman was that?
The alcoholic English professor.
Yeah, that one. Was it that one? Oh shit,
The
we're
one that
mentioning names again.
The one that couldn't speak properly.
There was this word he kept using. What was the word? There's one word, and I remember that...
He kept using phrasal verbs, obscure phrasal verbs, because he had no one to talk to. And every time he met a native speaker, he would use as many phrasal verbs in the conversation as possible.
He had this one word...
Some kind of intellectual deformation.
That he kept using, and I didn't know that word. And I didn't understand it. And that's why I remembered it, but then I forgot it. I probably forgot it once I found out what it meant. No,
well, he had nothing interesting to say.
I just can't remember what it was. I don't know. You know, there was something interesting.
Okay, I take that back. What was interesting? You can't remember.
No, I can't remember now.
It obviously wasn't that interesting. If you can't remember what he said that was interesting.
No, I can't remember actually, no. He did kind of pretend that he can't remember me.
Didn't you say the last time you met him he was drunk in the supermarket?
Did I?
Yeah, you said you went to the local supermarket to get something and that he was there and he was drunk.
I'm not sure if he was drunk, it's possible. He always looked like he was.
He always looked like he was drunk.
But he probably wasn't always drunk, but he kind of looked like...
Well, nobody's always drunk.
He looked funky. Why are we talking about somebody now? I mean, again.
Because you mentioned his name.
Yeah, you're gonna have to beep it out.
What? You started it. You mentioned the name.
You started talking about Roman's heating.
That's got nothing to do with an individual person. That just mentioned. You mentioned the heating, and I mentioned the fact that the Romans had it. Because they had lots of cool stuff. They were also rampaging, marauding armies who wanted to create giant tax farms, but they didn't always have bad ideas. Yeah, I have this theory about Caesar, right? You know how Caesar's demonized in history? Yeah.
Is he?
He is. He's demonized in history.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that history tends to be sort of written and rewritten by the winners.
Is he demonized in history?
He is.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that.
Well, there was
I only ever read factual facts about Caesar. I've never really noticed that he was demonized.
Well, I have this sort of theory, judging by what's happened politically and recently, and observations.
What, the Chaputova became president? That one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is that a Disney cartoon?
No, that was just a recent political development.
Oh, well, that's just top, isn't it? What? Is it important?
What do you mean is it important?
What do you mean, is it important?
Is anything important?
I don't know if it's important. Look, it's Chihuahua, what? Some dog won something somewhere.
Well, I just wanted to make a point that I'm not sure what political development you're talking about.
Okay, I'm talking about the fact that every time somebody does something good, they're demonized in the media. And usually it turns out that what's bad is good and good is bad. And every time somebody tries to do something good, they're ostracized and even politically assassinated, basically. And it's quite shocking. Like a famous case of Dr. David Kelly, who said, "There are no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq." And he was like found dead in a park the next day, right? Because he cut his own wrists at home and then walked to a park and died, because that's how you kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that rapper recently who said, I'm going to make this big this Grammy award-winning rapper who said, I'm going to make this documentary about holistic medicine and how it helps and heals people, and he was like shot dead like the next day. So bad things seem to happen to good people, and history kind of gets reversed. And I'm pretty sure if people go back and look at the reign of Julius Caesar, that they'll find that he did an epic amount of great things for the culture, just specifically because he's demonized. And I'm pretty sure that...
How was he demonized?
Well, it was the element that he was taking on more and more power,
mm-hmm.
and that was negative. And actually, from what I've read, and I by no means know a lot of information, because it's a huge topic. It seems that the consolidation of power was necessary to strengthen Roman Empire's position.
What do you mean by the consolidation of power?
Well, it's the focusing of all the elements of power in one area, the tighter controls, the lack of what would be described as devolved power.
Can you explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old?
I thought I was doing that.
No, a 5-year-old doesn't know what's devolved power.
They might. Jazz would probably get it. A devolved power is kind of like democratic idea of giving decisions to people in their own areas.
Okay.
It's kind of the Republican principle of not having centralized government.
So you're saying that he decided that people in different areas of his empire should have their own say?
No, I'm saying the opposite of that.
Oh, it was not clear from what you were saying. You're saying the opposite
I'm sure if
of
you
that.
go back and listen to it,
That he should. So he decided that there should be centralized government.
Yeah, he decided to consolidate power, which means centralized control.
And it wasn't like that before? Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that this idea that he's demonized for doing that when he, A, wasn't the first person, and B, it was probably necessary.
Yes, but are you saying that the empire already had a control over those areas that?
Well, there were previous leaders before Caesar who took more control and tried to centralize power in a greater way. And as you, you're right there.
So who controlled it? Was it the native people, or was it his appointed officers or something?
Who controlled it? I don't know what.
Who controlled the areas before the consolidation of the power?
It was devolved to regional governors.
Regional governors who were Romans or the locals?
Well, what would happen is the Romans would send in their armies.
Yes.
And they'd force people to become tax slaves.
Yes.
So when you say, was it A or was it B, it was both being subservient to Rome.
Yes.
You know, you can't say it was specifically one because there was a certain level of... You're right there.
Yeah, I've got something stuck in my throat.
Because there was a certain level... You're just dying. Don't die.
I'm trying not to.
Don't die in a podcast.
There was about 0 air in this room yesterday. Even after...
That's funny, because I opened the window about...
Even after you opened the window.
I opened the window about 10 times yesterday to let air into the room specifically. Even last night before I went to bed, I went and opened the window and let air in.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. Didn't make that much difference for some reason. No. Still, it's fucking.
Can I get you anything? Drink some coffee.
Can you give me a new set of organs?
Well, like church organs. You need to put the mic on. If you're going to talk, you threw the mic across the bed there.
That's
Yeah.
because I'm dying.
She said clearing her throat.
My throat is still not clear.
No? Don't worry about it too much. Don't eat the mic.
I'm not eating.
You're trying to... your tongue was coming out and licking it a little bit there. And having breakfast.
No, it wasn't. This is going to be a terrible podcast.
Oh, well, there's a positive attitude. Right, come on, lads. We're going to lose this game. Yay. Fucking epic.
Ah!
Did something happen?
I think that did it. Must be that rainbow
You have
trout.
to talk in a lower tone of voice.
I think that did
You
it.
have to talk like this.
Okay.
Welcome to Midnight Radio. A radio station where we play all...
I would have to have voice like that lady from the other podcast. She's got that kind of sensual voice.
Oh, is that your sensual voice? Could you do that again?
We've not all been gifted the same gifts.
No, because that would be quite boring, I think. No, what was your sensual voice there? Could we just have a little bit of a repeat? That was nice. No, that was nice. That was very sort of romantic there.
You're
As romantic as a coal miner. 6 foot underground.
Yep. No, I'm not gonna do my sensual voice again, because you'd have people calling in, throwing their phone numbers at me.
Or other things.
Signed underwear, I don't know.
You want people to throw signed underwear at you?
Did I say I want that?
No, you didn't say you wanted
I said I
that.
don't want that. That's why I'm not gonna do my sensual voice again.
Oh, please, go on.
I'll do it when you least expect it.
Excellent. You can do it in the library today to the librarian.
Yeah.
She'll love that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Or the funny guy that looks like he doesn't know where he is.
My dad.
No, the one who works in the fitness center type thing.
There's the guy with the big head.
Yeah, that one.
He's got this like thin body and this massive head.
It's not the head that's big, it's his hair.
It's like a stick man with a beach ball on top of it.
Oh, I don't think he's as thin as you are. Actually.
Well, he doesn't actually look like he's been in the gym at all.
He
It looks like he just hasn't had any food or sunlight.
Well, how can he
his entire
possibly
life.
how can he possibly go to the gym when he works there? He has to sit by the desk and take little cards from people and beep them.
I don't know. It's not the most stressful.
And then
job
he
in the
has
world.
to and then he has to clean it up and close it. I mean, it's not like he's got that much time to actually go there and sit and work out, right?
Well, it's how you approach it. I mean, he could leave a sign on the desk saying, "I'm in the gym."
Damn it, Jim.
Yeah, you wanted that T-shirt, didn't you?
I did. It's a really cool T-shirt.
What did it say on it? Did it
Just
say,
just
"Damn it,
that just that said damn it, Jim, and it had sorry, Spock with a big barbell lifting.
Jim?"
I had a picture of it on my phone actually. I don't know if
You
I'll
go
find
around
it.
with a picture of this T-shirt.
So I was taking it for somebody else, and I think it's still on my phone. It's a pretty cool T-shirt though.
You might be able to find it on eBay, secondhand. Secondhand T-shirts are lovely.
Oh yeah, I've got a few of those secondhand T-shirts. They're lovely. They tell you that.
There was somebody selling
Secondhand T-shirt.
Xbox stuff on eBay, and I wanted to check out what else they were selling to see if they were legit. Oh Jesus Christ! That's not
Yes, it is.
that's not Spock. That's Bones, you spoon.
Oh, of course, that's Bone. Sorry, got that one wrong.
Because he's the one who says, "Damn it, Jim."
Yeah.
Spock doesn't have any emotions.
No, he doesn't. No, that's Bones.
Damn
Yes,
it, Jim.
you're absolutely
I'm a
right.
doctor.
That's my sister.
You just put a naked picture of your sister. It's
She's
scary.
not naked. She's in
Scary.
undies.
Not naked in undies. Half naked. Half naked picture of your sister. Thank you.
It
You
was
secretly flashed me a half naked picture of your sister.
She sent me it. Cause
Oh,
we've
you're
got
sending
this-
naked pictures to each other. Oh, that's just fucking brilliant. That is.
Shut up! We've got
What a
this.
great idea.
It's the accountability
That
thing.
can't go wrong at all.
It's fuck you. It's accountability thing. We're holding each other accountable for our fitness journey.
Yeah?
Hmm.
What happens when you reach your destination?
The journey is the destination.
No, it's not. It's just a stupid statement. It fucking is.
It's not.
The journey is not the fucking destination.
Yes, it is.
Spaz. That's like saying
Who's
it's
so
just they're
nice?
different things.
So somebody shoveling snow.
It sounds like somebody dragging a spade down the road.
Yeah.
It might, or an axe, perhaps.
It
might be one of the
reminded me
local
of those.
zombies.
It reminded me of those noises that you
You
hear
know,
in Slovakia in the morning, in the dark.
you know what?
Sound of people shoveling snow.
Let me tell you something that's ridiculous. Apart from people dragging spades. It does actually sound like there's people dragging
It
spades down.
sounds like
It's
somebody's.
Attack of the Zombies.
Sounds like a tractor is like.
Is like running through a graveyard. Plowing through a graveyard.
Plowing, yes, that's the word. I couldn't remember. Plowing the road.
Hey, listen, bad ideas 101. In one of the windiest places in the world, let's put wheels on all the bins.
Yeah.
If you noticed that when it gets really, really windy and people put the bins out, the bins move.
But then the binnies.
The binnies.
The binnies
Where do they live? Are they people? Do
that
they live
take
at the top of the hill?
that empty the bins.
The binnies.
When it's really, really windy, they
That's a really good term. Why are they not called that?
They are.
They're not.
Well, they are now.
The binnies.
I call them that, so they are called that. So
Guys, binnies.
the binnies put the bins down on their sides when it's windy, so they don't get knocked over or so they don't wheel out into the road or something.
They should do that with old people as well.
Shut up. Anyway, of course the journey is a destination. It's the every single day overcoming your laziness and your wanting to just sit on your ass rather than exercise, which is the goal. It's the slow building of will and self-discipline, which is the goal. It's the overcoming your limitations every single day, which is your goal. It's being able to lift a heavier weight and do more repetitions and feel
Just
good
get
about
fat.
it.
You'll be
which is
lifting
your
heavier
goal.
weight all the time.
My gosh.
It's
You know, I actually have
It's true.
a huge respect for those people who are set out to lose more weight, because they work like twice as hard, right? If you've got more weight and you still have to do all those other exercises that all those other people have to do that have less weight. I'm talking about like in group lessons, like group classes, like when I go to the boxing, yeah. They work for freaking twice as hard.
Well, they have to.
They're gonna have twice as
but
much muscle once they lose the fat, you know?
If the question is if, and the other thing is
Of course
that
they
it's not what
will.
you do once; it's what you do all the time. Excuse you. So, you'll get people who come to the gym and give it 200% for an hour,
Like
and-
me.
and then won't do a lot the rest of the week, and that's
Unlike me.
that's not the right way to approach it, obviously.
Obviously, it's better than nothing.
Well, yeah, like a shovel in the face is better than an axe in your skull, right?
It can make a difference, but very slow.
Well, you're just building walls to knock them down, aren't you? So it's
You know, I'm in this group of people who do the workout, yeah?
what's the name of the workout girl?
Kyla.
She's got a funny name.
Kyla,
Kyla. Kyla's a funny name.
yeah. She's pretty awesome though. Anyway.
What do you mean she's pretty awesome? All you ever do is see her doing repetitive exercises perfectly.
No, that's not true. She's pretty awesome. I mean, she's built this entire thing.
I guarantee you there's a couple of people behind her who have helped her along the way.
I'm pretty sure that you must have a good support network to be able to hear. Oh,
Your alarm has gone off.
yeah.
Turn your phone off.
Fuck you. Turn your phone off.
I can't. It's recording this. Your phone is not recording this. You're doing your fiddle with your phone thing again. It's
So
really
what?
getting on my tits.
You fiddled the other day. You fiddled last time.
I
you did
fiddled
this.
the other day. I'm sorry.
Yes, you fiddled
Well, that
last
doesn't-
Saturday. Yeah,
What
so
did I
it's
fiddle
my
with?
turn to fiddle.
You fiddle all the time. You're a fiddler.
Yes, I am fiddler. So is Will. It must be hereditary.
No, he's obviously seen you do it and copied it the same way
Shut
that the
up.
kids have picked up picking their lips. Do, 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 do. I think that was the. I think the binnies were collecting the bottles. I think that's what the noise was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So why they were so long?
Yeah, it did. Babka the other day was really funny because I was looking at the bins, trying to work out which thing should go in which bin, and she said, "Oh, you don't put the bottles in there." I said, "But it's got bottles written on the top."
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Yes, well, we don't put our bottles in there." Okay, where do we put our bottles then? Yeah, well, there wouldn't be any space for anything else because Dad drinks so much that it would be so full so quickly.
Oh gosh.
Uh-huh.
So he outdrinks the bin.
He outdrank the bin.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they have to go to the recycling place and put their bins. And then people drink so many. There's so many bottles at the recycling point.
Because everybody drinks too much for their bottle bin.
Apparently, that people have to leave, or they started leaving bottles on the ground outside of the bottle bank bin thing.
Jesus, it's like a small wine cemetery.
And it's a really bad idea to do that because they get blown over and
knocked over
and yeah, exactly. That's
broken.
like putting rubbish next to the bin is not the same as putting rubbish in the bin.
Obviously. And why doesn't anybody inform the council that this is a village of alcoholics and that there should be one more bottle bin?
Because the council probably already know that. And this idea that the council is going to do something useful to help people is one of those common errors where most of the time they just embezzle and steal money. And
they do sort out the potholes.
Why is that? Why all the roads have giant holes in them?
Well, if you inform the council, have you informed the council about them?
About what? Inform the council about holes?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what phone up the council and say, "Excuse me, I've discovered a hole."
Yeah. In the road.
Yes.
Just took my wheel out. Can you please fill it up?
Stop juggling your phone.
Stop ordering me around for crying
It's not
out
an
loud.
It's not an order. It's a request.
Oh, you've put it very politely.
It's an impolite request.
Yeah. Murray, stop playing with your phone. I'm being evil now.
He doesn't play with his phone. He doesn't know how to. He's not sure how it works.
Yeah, it's something that your mum would say, I'm sure though.
Didn't he couldn't turn it on? Is that a sentence? The other day.
I don't know.
Is that grammatically correct?
Did he could?
Didn't he couldn't? Can you say that?
Yes, you can. If you're drunk. Or something else.
You couldn't the other day.
Maybe you could say that if you were Oasis. And maybe if you were Oasis and you were singing a song.
What?
Maybe if you were Oasis and you were singing a song, you could say that.
Is it my imagination?
Didn't he couldn't something.
What? What? That's all I can say is what.
Yeah.
Didn't he couldn't? No, that would be some kind of like. There's probably some weird Scottish 50s song.
Yeah, but how else do you say that?
Thought I didn't. He couldn't. He wouldn't. He shouldn't have had the he and the you.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a hit single for somebody. Just come down from the Isle of Skye, and I didn't. He couldn't, and I wonder why.
That was actually good.
What? No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
Yeah, I think you should record a demo of that.
No, I'd be a great lyricist. That's my pet peeve that I never went down that road. But there you go. I could write great lyrics for bands, no problem.
I would be a great bass player.
You might be. You've got that kind of John Deacon style. But that doesn't mean anything to you, but
No. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do.
You do. You sort of just stand in one place and hit the right notes.
Mm-hmm.
Cover the basics.
Isn't that what the bass players do?
Well, not all of them. Some of them rock out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them sing. Like
I thought-
Sting.
I thought that was the cool thing about the bass players, that they just stand there.
No, that's the managers that do that.
And the guitar player always runs around the stage, and the singer always runs around the stage, and sometimes they're the same person. And they like do all this crazy shit and jump up and down and smash their guitars and kind of throw themselves in the crowd and things like that. And the bass players are just kind of cool. Just play the bass and just look at it and just think, oh, look at that idiot.
Well, since we started doing music stuff. What fucking hell?
Well, it's morning.
Turn off your fucking.
What?
Do you have it set for like every 8 minutes or
Wake
something?
up! No, I only have 2 of them set.
And why is it? What are the intervals? 2. You got 2 alarms set. What are they? What's the first one set for?
7.
What's the second one set for? 7:08.
Yep.
That's fucking weird. It is.
Why?
Why do you have 2 alarms set with 8 minutes difference?
Because
between
10 minutes seemed too long. Because I thought, if I wake up at 7:10, might as well wake up at 7:15, and that's half an hour gone.
It's not half an hour. That's half of half an hour.
Yes, I know, but by the time I get out of bed and make myself some coffee and things like that, 7:05 didn't seem enough time for me to chill in bed. And
So 5 minutes is not
and
enough, and
no,
10 minutes is
7:10
too much.
Yeah, exactly. So I went for 8.
You actually consciously did that.
Yeah, I actually consciously did that.
You're like, I need that alarm set for 7:08.
Well, I wanted to go for 7:05, but that was not possible.
No?
Oh.
That would be just weird.
Yeah, but it would be right down the middle.
What? What would be? What?
It would be right down the middle.
Oh, like of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
7:30. Like 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Uh-huh.
What is the point?
Nothing. It's just the OCD.
The organizational compliance disorder.
Not that one.
No.
No.
A different one.
No, yes.
No, yes.
Well, yes.
That's mine.
I know that's your favorite answer.
It is. It just clarifies things so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it actually does.
I asked my father a very specific question yesterday.
And he said no, yes. No.
The key.
Yes.
Now who's doing that? It was when the key went missing for the car.
Oh, is that still missing?
Yes. Nobody knows where it is.
Uh-huh.
The last time anybody had it, it was unfortunately Will,
Uh-huh.
which doesn't
Make anything easier.
Yep, exactly. Here's a responsible task. I'll give it to Will to do. Oops.
I somehow don't think that he's responsible for it missing, though. I don't know.
I just find it ironic. I mean, I agree with you, but I find it ironic that the one and only time that I don't hang up the key myself, it disappears.
Yeah, no. Very unfortunate.
And it can't have disappeared in another place. It must have disappeared here. And it's big and heavy.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's not something that you would misplace or lose easily, or drop and not knowing that you've dropped or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
you asked your dad a question about it?
yeah, I said, because he said, oh, I've got the key.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, is it like my key, the one that we're looking for, or is it your key, the one that you always use?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he said, yes, I've got the key. And I had to stop and say, Dad, which key are you talking about? The key that we're looking for, or the key that you always have? And I can't remember what he said after that. He gave me another answer, and I still didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, Dad, you just got to tell me it's your key or my key.
That's because, you know why? I was in that situation. I saw what you were talking about. That's because he was confused, because it was not clear what you were asking. Because the key that he always uses is the same key that you always use.
That
He doesn't use the spare key.
That is not true. That is not true. He carries the spare key with him most of the time.
Does he?
He does.
Are you sure?
Don't search for logic, because you're going to end up going, why does he carry around two keys with him? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It's just his way of doing things.
Okay, I didn't know that. I just know that he normally uses the same key like you. That's why it was a bit confusing.
Which reminds me, I must have hung up the key when I came back yesterday. It's one of those automatic. It's one of those automatic.
Leave the podcast for a sec.
You need to go away.
Yeah, I need to go away.
Okay. I'll just pause this for a sec then.
Yeah, I'll be quick.
And we're back.
We're back.
Did you have a nice trip?
I have a wonderful trip. I can't do it. I can't do my sensual voice anymore.
That sounds like a psycho killer. It sounds like Jack Nicholson and ready to put a knife into somebody's skull.
You got that picture from Shining in your head, right?
No. Oh yeah, the poster, the marketing poster thing.
Yeah, the classical
the funny
Shining
the
picture.
shifty eyes.
The axe in the door.
I haven't seen that film.
What?
I haven't seen that film.
You haven't seen The Shining?
No, I haven't.
How is that even possible? It's a classic.
There's a lot of films I
thought
haven't
you've
seen.
seen all classic movies.
Why is it a classic?
It just is, because it's a classic King's horror movie, horror book, made into a classic movie with with Jack Nicholson. It's just, why is anything a classic? It's just a classic.
No, but I wanted to know what made it so good.
I think it was good for that time.
Being a classic doesn't make it good.
A story? I don't know.
Maybe. What's the story?
Well, if I tell you the story, you won't enjoy the film.
I might never watch the film.
Okay, so this family, right? The cast was great as well.
There's a castle.
Cast.
What?
Jack Nicholson is the daddy-o, right? He's got a wife. He's slightly, how would I put it? I don't know. She looks very fragile. Okay, like both mentally and physically.
You'd have to have Jack Nicholson as a partner, I imagine.
And they've got a son, yeah. And they move to this like holiday resort because the guy gets a job as a caretaker for the holiday resort for the winter while it's closed down for the winter, yeah. And they get snowed in because that's why nobody wants to do it or whatever. That's why he gets the job, because the person who gives him the job says, well, you're well stocked up and everything. There's food, there's whatever, but it's very likely that you're gonna get snowed in for a few months. Very very difficult to get anywhere. They've got like a snow scooter that they can use if they need to get down to the village, but it's really only for emergencies because you don't want the snow scooter all the time or whatever. Yeah. And
I'd want to, but okay.
And so they're in this big holiday, in this big hotel, and they're taking care of the hotel, and the guy starts losing his mind, right?
Losing his
he's
mind.
a writer, yeah. So it's a perfect job for him to be the caretaker because he's got plenty of time.
Is this a
to
Stephen
just
King
sit
book?
and write. Yeah.
So he's writing about a writer.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen King often does that because he believes in write what you know, which is fair enough.
So what's he led a pretty horrific life then, has he? Full of demons and weird creatures and possessed cars.
Well, actually, he said that he used to be very scared as a child because he had a wild imagination. Well, they said that he used to be, he used to imagine boogeymen and scary things. And anyway, off topic. So this guy starts losing his mind. Yeah, he's writing, he's typing his book, and it's like, oh, it's great, and like my writer's blog's all gone, and I'm typing away, and his wife's like, yes, he's working so much, and it's so good. He's working on his book, and this kid keeps having visions. Yeah, and he's very scared, and he keeps seeing like ghosts. Yeah, he starts seeing two little girls. Twins, yeah, appearing in the long hallways, and then he sees other horrible things, and then he gets attacked. Yeah, he goes into one of these rooms, and this ghost type thing kind of attacks him and tries to kill him, and he actually, nobody sees it obviously, but his mother discovers that he's got, he's becoming more and more distressed, and this mother, who's kind of mentally frail and physically frail, becomes scared for his safety. Yeah, and she discovers this like prints on his neck, like somebody was choking him, and then that's when she decides that something needs to be done, and she talks to the guy, and the boy is trying to teach himself how to read. He's about 5, doesn't know how to read yet, because now, I've read the book, so I don't think this was actually in the movie. This might have been in the book. Never mind. They're slightly different. Because he keeps seeing this, he's got these visions and dreams, yeah, and he keeps seeing this word in his visions, and he doesn't know what it says, and he feels it's important. And the word is red rum, yeah. Anyway, so this wife's like, okay, so I have to tell this to the husband, and first the husband is like, this is stupid, it's not nonsense, whatever. Then she goes through his book, yeah. She finds his this huge stack of papers that he's written on his typewriter. She wants to have a peek, and she opens it, and she finds out that there's hundreds and hundreds of pages of just one sentence, which is all work, no play makes whoever his name is a dull boy. Yeah. Jack, yeah.
Maybe.
Whatever. Yeah. And so she finds out that he's losing his mind, right? And it just all kind of grades goes up,
It
builds up,
up.
yes. And eventually this guy completely loses his mind and tries to kill his wife and his son, and he chases them around with an axe. Meanwhile, they find out that the one room that that there were the ghosts or demons or whatever that tried to kill the son, and is somewhere where somebody was murdered before. This one word that the guy keeps seeing in his visions, that the boy spells murder back to front, and it was written on the mirror. That's why, or he could see it in the mirror. That's why it was back to front, and he couldn't read it, and it just all builds up to where this woman locks herself in the bathroom, and Jack is trying to get to her with an axe at the door, and then he opens the door a crack, and he goes, "Oh, I'm here, my darling," whatever, with his crazy eyes, and that's where the shot is from, the classic shot. Yeah, she's perfect for the role. She's absolutely perfect, because it's like she's freakishly thin, yeah, and she's half mentally disturbed, and it's just the cast in the movie is amazing.
It's a Kubrick film.
Could be, I don't know. And I really don't know. Could be. And at the end of the story, now I really don't know if this is the movie or if this is the book, but at the end of the story, the son gets out of the hotel and the father is chasing him around, and there is like a labyrinth, maze, a maze in front of the hotel, and it's all snowed in, and first the boy tries to like start the car or start the snow scooter or whatever, and doesn't manage, and then he gets into the maze, and then he tricks his father, and his father's already hurt and injured because the woman probably shot him or something, and in the end he collapses in the maze and dies there, and then I think that the boy manages to like call the authorities or something just before, and that somebody comes and saves him or whatever. Can't remember exactly how it ends up, but the boy survives. The man dies in the maze. Anyway, cheerful story.
It's a happy story.
But it's a really good story. And it's called The Shining because it's the gift that the boy has, that he can see, he has the visions and he can see the ghosts and whatever, that the gift is compared to shining by the... So there's this black guy in the village that gives him the job, I think. Gives them the job, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the same person. But he says that he looks at the boy and he's got the same gift that the boy has, apparently. Whatever. That's why it's called The Shining.
Wow. I don't feel inclined to watch it.
Why?
Because I don't need to watch a film about an ex-murderer.
No?
No.
Why? I thought everybody wanted to watch films about ex-murderers.
Not really. I mean, I don't really understand why somebody would want to write a book about it or even make a film about it.
Because it's scary and freaky.
Well, I guess if somebody is trying to create some kind of emotional response, that it might be interesting to
you know what I think
do something like that.
I find interesting, I've probably said this already, what I find interesting about King's books is that it's on one hand, when you look at it, and some of the literary critics only see this dimension, it's like a cheap kind of fairground entertainment kind of thing, you know. Let's scare you shitless and whatever, you know. It's like, oh, let's say stories around the bonfire and see who gets scared the most or whatever. Yeah.
I like the fact that my teenage students used to call these types of films jump scare films.
Ah, it's different though. Jump scare films are like Halloween, or you know, it's the lot of blood and lot of whatever.
Well, no, jump scare is where there are surprises
Yeah.
in the film.
Yeah. Jump scare films. That's a good name. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So-
I like that title, jump scare films.
Yeah. So on one hand you've got the basic, yeah, the scary story, the basic that the people see, yeah. But then you've got a whole different dimension in King's books. You've got the psychology. If you look behind the basic story, which is very often stupid, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the basic premise of the story is very often really stupid, yeah. But the way he works it, and the way he works out the psychology of all the characters and how it clicks in, and the way he makes unbelievable things believable,
Mm-hmm.
and the way he plays on the reader's psychology, it's genius.
Well, how does he play on the reader's psychology?
He uses, for
Because
example,
how do you know what the reader is thinking?
You don't, but he doesn't tell you everything. For example, I like that he doesn't tell you everything, but he gives you little hints. Yeah, and he lets you kind of squirm. You know, it's like he gives you a little hint that something terrible is about to happen. Yeah, classic.
For example, because I'm trying to imagine, because I haven't really.
It's really hard to
I'm
give
not
you
sure
examples.
I've ever read any.
Because I can't, because I'm not king, so I can't do it in a way that will sound intelligent, yeah. But you know, it's
Or
like,
would it be like somebody accidentally drops a business card or something, and the business card's got some name on it, and that name means something to somebody, or
that could be one thing, but mostly it's just from the position of narrator, you know. Just in the narration of the story, he'll say, like, oh, John, you know, John kissed her goodnight and went to sleep, for what would be the last night of I don't know, whatever, of before his life changed forever. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. That was not very subtle, but sometimes, you know, but he drops subtle hints, not like that what I just showed you, but more subtle. Okay,
more subtle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, that's the genius of it, that I could not reproduce it, but he knows through descriptions of the environment, through descriptions of the not descriptions, through building up the atmosphere, he makes you feel like something's about to happen without actually saying it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But he must have his own sort of style of doing it.
Yeah. He's got his own style of doing it, and it's sometimes when I read his book, it's like, because I've read so many.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I read one of his earlier works, I'm like, yeah, well, okay, it's obvious what he's doing right there. But some of his greatest things, like the Duma Key, for example, was an awesome book. Or the Bag of Bones, you know, it was. They're very flowy, fluent, and the hints are very subtle, and it's just atmosphere and the building up and the, it's, doesn't let you put the book down. And it's the psychology of the characters as well, how he digs into the characters that I like the most, I think. I enjoy that the most. That he really goes deep into the characters. That just sounds really freaky.
Okay. Okay, you did a good job of selling King there. Did I say kink? Oops.
A kink.
Good job of selling the King. Is that his real name, Stephen King?
Yes.
Strange name to have.
He did have a very weird pen name.
Simon de Montfort. No?
Something beginning with S. Something. Strauss. Straub.
Stevie Strobs.
Straub, something like that.
That's that guy who trains with the kids at the football sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straub, something like that.
Strobs.
Yeah.
People call them Strobs.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if it's a positive thing or a negative thing.
Not if it's his name or not.
Or if it's even connected to his name, but people call them Strobs. And I get the feeling that it's it's kind of derogatory, but I could be wrong. Because people keep apologising to him for calling him Strobs. And,
Oh, do they? You spend a lot of time with those people there, don't you? I
What?
mean, I'm in the gym and you kind of like hang around, so you know these things. I don't even know these things.
No, I don't spend a lot of time with these people.
I didn't know anybody at the freaking soft play thing.
I don't spend a lot of time with the people because the level of the conversation is quite basic, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's just is what it is.
So there
Hi,
was
hello, how are you?
there was a
Blah, blah,
thread in
blah.
one of these homeschool groups, the local homeschool groups, not the Friday fun one, but the North of Scotland one, whatever, it doesn't matter.
The one that they won't let me join.
They won't let you join?
No. I've been thrown out of every homeschooling Facebook group that exists,
Well done.
and the other ones they just won't let me join.
Well done.
Because that's what they do to good people, as far as I can work out.
Anyway, so Kerry posted this article about making mum friends or something, yeah, and it started up a conversation underneath it, a little thread of comments, and Katya commented like, Scottish people are so difficult to, or British people are so difficult to make friends with. She's like, in Russia, it's like, you say hi, and everybody's so friendly, and you go visit each other's houses, and go to barbecues or whatever. I don't know what she wrote, something like that. And I was like, yeah, well, in Slovakia it's the same, right? You just say hi, and you invite each other for goulash, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other person wrote, oh yeah, well, I'm English, and then Scotland is better than England. It's like, in England you have to be invited to multiple events and occasions and know the person and their extended family before they invite you for coffee. I thought it was quite funny. Anyway, we were talking about the cultural differences there and how British people are all small talk, and it ends there, and it's really difficult to get underneath it. Not in the homeschooling group, because the Friday homeschooling group is much different, yeah. I think it's also because of the mixture of people and countries and origins and journeys and everything. And people really, really make effort because they kind of value the relationship more with other people. But any other social situation, like football group or even the boxing class or whoever else, it's all small talk, and it never goes any deeper than that. You never have anybody really making an effort to actually get to know you or make friends or anything, you know?
Well, that just describes the whole culture, basically, in a nutshell.
And in Slovakia, it's like Pide, right?
Mm-hmm.
You move in and he comes and asks if you need him to build your roof or whatever, yeah. And
Yeah, how people come and check and see if things are okay.
and they invite you for everything. Even our neighbors that were weird were still very hospitable. Even the honey people, egg people, and the Mirka with the pig, and just, it's just different. It's different. Or people that I met as a mom, you start talking to somebody and they're like, hey, do you want to come for a play date? Straight away, basically. So
I think there are things that happen here. People communicate. There was a game of rounders in the park yesterday that was organised in the village.
Rounders, what's
Yes.
that?
It's the... do you know what softball is? Probably not.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
so...
like baseball with a bigger ball,
yeah, and
played by girls.
it's a bigger ball and a smaller bat, and yeah. Like rounders is like a baseball for girls. Well, softball is like baseball for girls, and rounders is like softball for kids. There we go.
Okay.
And so there was a game in the park yesterday, organised by parents.
I didn't know that.
It was on the Ut and About Facebook page.
Why weren't we there? Because we were at the homeschooling thing.
Because we got back from the homeschooling thing, and that was... And then we got involved in other things. The moment we came back, we got involved. You got involved in making dinner, and I was tidying up stuff. And
it's a very strange kind of, what's the word? When you've got like two opposite things, not contrast, not conflict.
Contradiction?
Maybe. I don't know.
Contrast is two different things.
It's a strange thingy. That on one hand, people really are very active in organizing things. You've got your over 50s, and you've got your deep sea ladies, and you've got your business women, and you've got your folk club, and you've got your quiz night, and you've got whatnot, God knows what else, and the tots groups, and the soups and desserts, and the coffee mornings, and blah 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 blah, million of things. But even at those events, I've got, maybe it's me, maybe there's something wrong with me. But I've got a feeling that I can just come and do a lot of small talk, and it never gets any deeper than that. I just don't know. It's like, I don't know.
I think that it's very much related to where people fit in to things. I think that a lot of it happens naturally. And when I say naturally, I don't mean that you do nothing and you get everything. What I mean is that things just seem to work and click together and fit. And I also think that if it's not happening to a certain extent naturally, then people are probably in the wrong place. Because it shouldn't be such a huge effort to make things work. Yes, you need to put in energy to get things out of things, but I also think there's a natural flow to things as well.
Yeah, I understand.
So that if people have to try too hard, they're sort of, I don't know, like trying to ski uphill or something. There should be just a way that things work, and you shouldn't have to try to not be yourself. It should just work with the person being whoever they are and saying whatever it is that's on their mind. Because I think if people have to start self-monitoring or putting some limitations on whatever it is they want to say or do, then they're not going to get very far. So I think the environment plays a very big factor in it, and I think that people are very much closed off in this part of the world, in the sense that there are a large number of people here who have never had any experience outside of this culture.
Mm.
And
Other than going to Lanzarote.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Other than searching for the sun for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Alco-tourism, basically. Or going on a cruise, which is just like a giant floating bar, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And where all the
description of a cruise.
That's what it is.
Let's spend 3 weeks in a pub that we can't get away from because it's in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, and all the and all the shit is free, so you just spend your time permanently pissed.
Isn't that great?
So
that's the sort of thing that I would have loved to do with my friends when we were at university. It's like
because we're all alcoholics.
It would be like the ultimate just hang around with your friends, have just a little bit of other people around, so that there's some fun in getting to know other people. Yeah, just have unlimited amount of food and drink, and be able to just lie down in the sunshine and
welcome
just
to a
talk about
hedonistic paradise.
Oh my God, I would have loved that.
You would have got tired of that pretty quickly, though.
I know.
As all intelligent people do.
I would have loved it for like a week, and then I'd get bored to death, probably. But not with my friends. They were very funny. We'd come up with something stupid. We'd probably like I don't know. We'd probably tie German tourists behind the boat and ride them or something. Like surfboards.
Or you just start painting graffiti on the side of the ship or something.
Yeah. Or I don't know. We'd just make harpoons out of curtains and hunt for the whales or something. Yeah.
There you go. That's what students do, I suppose.
Yeah. I had some great friends in university. They were good at doing those things.
They were good at doing nothing important.
Oh, they're okay. They're okay.
I'm sure there are people in prisons that are okay as well, right?
It wasn't about doing anything important back then. It was more about...
I don't think university really is in most cases. I think there are certain examples where it's not like that. Maybe if you're doing like nuclear physics or something.
University was like a big reward for all the years of hell spent at school, in high school, and whatever else. It's like, finally I can spend 5 years having fun with friends, drinking, doing fuck all, and not be responsible for anything, and not be controlled by my parents, and not be told off for grades.
People wonder why society is the way it is. Right?
But it's not like that for everybody, obviously. I mean, there were people that took it really seriously.
Well, look, let me give you an example, right? If you're a student of dance, you can't
do that. That's
you
true.
Can't, right? So
you take care of your body.
Yeah, exactly. So it really depends.
It's not like that for everyone, but even within my school, I mean, I had
nutrition or something.
I had a friend, and she was awesome. She was the oldest of 7 children. Yeah, they weren't rich, so she knew what responsibility was. Yeah, and she knew she had to take care of herself, and she worked with me in the radio. Yeah, so that's how she made money. And she was the kind of person who knew where she was going. She self-taught herself Japanese. And she went to Brussels after school. And she set up her own business in Brussels. First she worked for I think that first she worked as an intern for the European whatnot in there, and then she set up her own business, and her own business. She's self-employed translator, obviously, which is not, I imagine, an easy thing to do when you're fresh out of university without having any business experiences in Slovakia in the first place. So it's pretty cool.
There is probably a lot of truth in there.
So she was one of those people who knew what they were doing, other than relationship-wise, because she had a completely useless guy.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway, yep. University, cruises, floating bars, sunshine. Scottish people don't have any. I'm trying to backtrack. Scottish people don't, just to remember what we talked about. Scottish people don't have any real experience with other cultures. That's true. That's true.
I did, obviously not all of them, but and it doesn't sort of mean anything good or bad.
Well, neither have Slovaks, right? Neither have any other, any other country. It's just like,
well,
you'd have to have country of nomads for the majority to have experiences with living in other cultures. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You would. I guess every country has got its insular communities that just do whatever is the norm for wherever it is that they are.
Exactly. That's where you're. You used to, when we were in Slovakia, you used to go, fucking Slovak people, and we're in Britain, you go, fucking Scottish people. It's like just bitching about the majority, basically. But I understand what you're bitching about. You're not bitching about the people themselves. You're bitching about the norm, it's
the cultural construct.
The eyes down. I can't see past my own nose and past my own frontier, border, whatever you call it.
Yeah, or people's lack of vision and their inability to see beyond their own activities. It's like, we're doing this. This is the most important thing in the universe. It's like, well, there's actually like 1 billion things happening today everywhere, and this is not the only thing.
But on the other hand, that's
how
you get shit
people
done,
do
though,
things,
no?
but
that's where you often need to actually get shit done.
Yeah, if you're not just managing yourself, through doing that, right? There's a lot of.
We were talking about this with the Slovak woman, and we were talking about. She finds it very difficult at the group yesterday. She finds it very difficult to socialize because she finds her English is not good. And they've been living here for years, and her English is not good.
Yeah, she just needs to kick up the fucking ass. Excuse my language. I don't mean that in a bad way, but.
No, I agree with that. I was talking to her today, and I said, you need to use this group. I said you need to use.
Yesterday. You haven't talked to anyone else today.
Yes, yesterday, and I told her, you need to use this group to your advantage. Because she said, I can listen to people and I can understand a few things that they're saying, but I'm just scared to talk to them, and I'm worried that blah blah blah, whatever. She said she's a perfectionist, and she's scared to do things that are not going to be perfect, and obviously her talking is not going to be perfect. And she says, I don't like guessing like what other people are saying, so if I'm not 100% sure I understand, I'd rather be quiet so I don't say something stupid, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, well, perfectionism is often just an attempt to manage your own insecurities.
Yeah.
So when someone says, I'm a perfectionist, it means I'm scared to communicate.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I do everything great.
Obviously.
It just means that I will do anything except.
Perfectionism just stops you from doing things, really. Anyway, so she was saying,
Absolutely,
she
totally
was
agree.
saying, "Oh, look at Patrick. He doesn't give a damn." She's like, "He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't
Is that
understand."
that guy's name, Patrick?
Yeah.
I
She
didn't know
said,
that.
he doesn't understand half the things that people are saying. He just makes it up, and then he says whatever, and you know. She's like, but he talks, and he learns that way, and we were talking about children as well before that, and we're like, kids are great because they don't give a damn about how they do things. They just want to do something and they do it, and they don't give a shit whether it's perfect or not, or whether it looks good or not, or whatever. They just go and do it, like Will's comics or or Zora's pictures or whatever, you know.
Yeah, the quest for perfection is very stifling in terms of
Yeah,
future abilities.
exactly. They go and do it, even though they don't know if they're doing great, even though it's not as good as they would like it to be, or it's not as good as the comics that you find in a shop or whatever. But they go and they do it, and that's their strength, right? That's also why teenagers are so, why the teenage years are so important and powerful in starting doing something, because finally you have the ability and you still have the childish, lack of fear of imperfection.
Hmm.
So you go and do it. And yeah, I was telling her yesterday. I was like, look, it's not gonna get any better than this group. I was like, this group is people from different countries
Hmm.
that also don't, where you are, didn't speak the language perfectly, yada yada. Very welcoming, they're very understanding, and they're not judgmental, and they're the perfect people to learn with, you know.
Yeah, I also get the feeling that people in her position are screwed anyway, because it's all self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to do it just because I'm not going to do it. I mean, it comes down to that at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, and we're all guilty of that to a certain extent, for sure. Um, but if you've reached the age of, I don't know, 40, right,
Mm.
and you haven't developed a certain level of communicative ability, well, it's your character. It's who you are, and you're not gonna, or to change your habit is to change your character.
You can change that habit, but I told her, because I was in that
You can
situation
or you
as well.
can't.
You can.
I see.
You can, because I was in that
I'm not sure
situation as
about
well,
that.
G. I've spent half my life, if not more, probably more, just being shy and not wanting to talk to anybody. And
I haven't noticed you being shy.
well, I've that's because we got to know each other when I was pissed. Okay. But I used to have huge social anxiety when I was not pissed. I
I'm not
wouldn't.
talking about that. I'm
Mhm.
talking about just I haven't noticed you not communicating with people.
Well, not now. But I still have to force myself.
Well, look, everyone has to force themselves to do something.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. That I have evolved from not wanting to force myself and to just trying to blend into walls, right? In social gatherings. I have evolved to realizing that I have to force myself, even though I feel stupid, and even though I'm worried that I'm going to say stupid things and I'm going to look stupid, right? I still have to force myself and go and talk to people, because otherwise I won't get anywhere. Yeah. And it's an evolution, and it happened while I was an adult, so I don't think that anybody is a lost case. Yeah. I think that once people realize something and learn, so you're learning your entire life, right? And even though you feel like, oh, I really feel bad and I'd rather not be here, and I'm just going to stay here for my kids, and because I know my kids need this, but I'll just sit here and try not to talk to anyone so that nobody thinks I'm stupid. I think you can get past that. I think you can, if you realize, you know, nobody likes this. Nobody likes approaching other people, but I have to.
because otherwise I'm screwed psychologically, because I'm digging myself a pit of isolation. Then you can do it. It's the same thing as forcing yourself to exercise, or it's the same thing as forcing yourself to jump into cold water. In the summer, nobody wants to be cold, but you know that if you do that, then in a little while you're gonna feel great. It's the same with relationships.
What, relationships are like cold water?
Yes, you have to feel stupid and awkward and idiotic for a little while, so that you can make friends.
I don't think it's necessary to feel those things.
Well, it is when you're an introvert and extremely shy.
Yeah, but then you're not an introvert if you do something different. You see what I'm saying? It goes against the character. It's like, well, if you're asking an introvert to do things that an introvert would not do, therefore they wouldn't be an introvert. It goes against the character.
I think I'm an introvert. You don't think I'm an introvert? I consider myself an introvert.
I don't think about it, and I haven't thought about it.
Well, I have, because I think about myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you surf Pinterest looking for posts about introverts?
Confession time. I think about myself. No, I did think about it, and I think I'm an introvert rather than an extrovert, even though I may look sometimes like an extrovert, because I force my introvert self to be more extroverted, because I know that it's going to have benefits in the end. Because
You fucking wait. Can you rewind to the start? I'm lost.
the
I'm
only
fucking
way.
lost.
I love having friends, and I love talking to people, but the only way of getting there is to get out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And my comfort zone is completely introverted, yeah, but I get out of it, because even though it feels uncomfortable, because I know that the end goal of having people to talk to that I can trust in the end is better than not having anybody. Because introverts need friends as well.
Yeah, I think if you force yourself out of the habit of being an introvert, you're no longer an introvert. You can't categorize yourself that way. It's like if somebody says I'm not a surfer, right? And then they go and practice surfing.
I think you can, because I think it's about
they're not a surfer anymore.
That's different. I think
Is it?
I think so, because I think it's about that comfort zone, I always thought that extroverts don't have to get out of their comfort zone to talk to people. I always thought that talking to people is their comfort zone. And for introverts, their comfort zone is not having to do that. I'm talking about new people, like getting to know new people, being in new situations and things like that. I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong and you're right. Although that would be the first. Sorry. Are you going to teach me how to drive today?
Well, I'm not sure you can learn it all in one day.
Are you going to teach me how to drive around the parking lot then?
Yeah. Look, I think it's a kind of a fun activity, and I think it'd be good to have the kids in the back of the car.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm going to be nervous though.
What?
I'm going to be nervous. They're going to think I'm useless.
Well, that's just part of that sort of introvert nature then, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it's good for them. Because
Nervous?
It teaches them that it's going to teach them that you can get from
Why are you nervous? Why is it not fun?
To something, right?
What's not fun about learning to drive?
I don't know. It's scary. It scares me shitless. The whole idea of driving scares me shitless. But then I feel like I should know how to do it, and I want to know how to do it, and I want to be more able to go places, right? And it's important to know how to do it. Because if you get drunk and Will breaks his leg, then I'll be able to drive him somewhere, right? But
Well, there's a positive scenario.
that's
Wow, is that what you think about?
And then I go shopping in the Tesco, yeah. And I walk from the parking lot to Tesco, and I look into cars, as you do. And I see all
You're a
these-
thief.
and I see
You're a
all
secret
these,
thief.
I see all these people driving cars, and I'm like, oh come on! If that person can drive a car, so can freaking I, right? And if all these 17-year-old kids can drive their cars, why shouldn't I be able to? And I'm like, it's not a fucking rocket science, right? I just see it as my personal failure not being able to drive a car. So I realize that driving a car is a life skill that I want to have, need to have, and I want to do that as a positive example for the children as well. Yeah, and I know it's going to be a great example for them if they see me not being able to drive at all, and then watch me learning how to do it, passing my test, and gaining a life skill, because it will show them that people can learn something, even adults can learn something, that you go from nothing to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a positive thing. But it also scares me shitless.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
What?
The fact that,
That scares me.
yeah.
It's a big thing. It's
It's only a big thing in your mind.
You make one mistake and you die.
Yeah, people don't worry about that because that's true in a lot of cases. A pilot makes one mistake and hundreds of people die, right? Captain
but
of a
I
ship
make
makes one
mistakes.
mistake and hundreds of people die.
But I make mistakes all the time. You know?
Show me a person that doesn't make mistakes.
Oh
Right.
gosh. It's just I feel this pressure that it's something that you can't make mistakes.
Like there's this theory connected to driving that nobody can drive until they have their first accident.
Yeah, so I heard. And your mother told me that it's best to have your first accident as soon as possible.
There's a certain
So it makes
element
you
of-
more...
well, it's actually best not to have an accident.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I think it might be true for like 17-year-old people who are reckless, but not for a
mhm.
34-year-old person who's shitless, scared, shitless, twice.
There you go. That's it's a very interesting way to feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the creation of a new habit.
I know. It's like riding a bike. Only one that is a deadly weapon.
It's no different from cooking for a new meal or something, right? Because it's like you don't know how the ingredients are all going to come together, but you experiment with it anyway.
Yeah, but you can't kill anybody. You know? I mean, I can make a disgusting soup, but it's probably not going to, most likely not going to kill anybody. Unless I add cyanide or something.
It's very unlikely that driving a car consciously is going to kill anybody. Do you get people who drive too fast? Yes. Although, if you notice, the rules and the regulations are tighter and stronger constantly. And it's actually getting harder and harder to have an accident because you just can't go fast enough to have an accident.
Apparently, there is a completely off topic. Sorry, you said rules and regulations are getting tighter.
You're thinking about...
Because you've been kicked out of all the homeschooling groups.
Yeah.
You probably missed the fact that the British government is negotiating a law to introduce regulation to the homeschooling.
See, I didn't know that.
And it's a big thing, and it's hugely medialized. There's a big propaganda in the media. There's interviews every other fortnight,
Mhm.
or articles written by random people saying how homeschooling is dangerous and how it's whatever, how there was an article in Daily Mail about homeschooling promotes extremism. Yeah. And another article yesterday was on the internet.
And religion doesn't.
That some woman wrote that homeschooling is dangerous because whatever else, and it's on in a big way. It's on in a big way, and there is some kind of law proposal for the register of homeschooled children, so that all homeschooled children are registered and under the supervision of local authorities. And they're proposing that in case of non-compliance by parents, the local authorities should introduce the school attendance orders. And in case of non-compliance with
orders, Jesus Christ, we're back in the army again.
Yeah, and in case of the non-compliance with school attendance order, you should be, whatever, sanctioned, imprisoned or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, because obviously prisons are full of homeschooled children, right?
So they wanna, I know, right? So they wanna tighten it, basically. They wanna start controlling homeschool children or homeschooling families.
Yeah, let's take something which is not broken and break it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take something that is not a problem at all in any way. And they argue that it's a positive thing because there is a small group of families that have that are homeschooling because they have been pushed away by the school. Basically, the school said, we can't deal with your kid. Homeschool them. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So there is a group of families that find that they have to homeschool in Britain, and they don't find necessary support. Yeah? And so this new law is apparently supposed to help families like that. They're supposed to make it harder for schools to push children with extra needs away like that. Yeah. And it's just ridiculous. That's a completely ridiculous argument. I mean, it's a problem for those families. It's a real problem that they're pushed into homeschooling if they don't want to do it and they don't have any other option and they don't have any support. Obviously, it's a problem. But registering homeschoolers is not going to help it. It would help to regulate the schools rather than regulate the homeschooling, right?
Well, you want to send more children into something which doesn't work?
It's completely ridiculous. So instead of solving the actual problem, they try to break something completely different that works. I mean, it's amazingly stupid.
Well, it is, because you're saying this doesn't work, so we need more of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. This did not work, could not work, so let's force those kids to go back into it.
Well, yeah.
It's anyway. So that's happening. You can
I mean, because once patients get out of hospital, they should be forced back in.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, have a look into it. I mean, Google it. Yeah.
No, because I'm not going to have a look into it, because number one, I cannot control it. Number two, if some tyrannical sadist motherfucker is going to make a law that's going to hurt people, then they're going to make a law that's going to hurt people. There's damn all I can do about it, right? And three, if it becomes so strict and tight and they change things, we just move to another country. I'm sorry, but I'd rather protect my freedom by living free than protect my freedom by embracing slavery. So free choice is the founding principle of freedom.
We could move to Portugal. Greece doesn't have illegal homeschooling, but Portugal does.
Like
Well,
the South Pacific Islands don't fucking care, right? They don't care if you're homeschooled or not.
South Pacific Islands.
Yes,
Where's that?
somewhere hot.
Somewhere in South Pacific.
Somewhere hot with beaches. Beaches, not bitches. Okay.
You've got beaches here.
What? It's not fucking hot though.
It was
you
hot in the car
spaz.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's also hot inside a microwave, but you don't want to live there. Look, the man Dan, right?
Mm.
The man Dan,
Which one done?
Dan Bongino he's a man with a brain out there. There are
No way.
very few of them left.
Really? And
Yeah.
he didn't sink into his testicles. It happens to some people.
Well, men, I guess you're talking about,
Yeah.
because women don't have testicles.
No. Women have working brains usually.
What?
Everything that's
What
broken.
their
or is-
brains? If men's brains sink into their testicles, then women's brains sink into their tits. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry.
It doesn't work like that.
No,
So what do women's brains sink into?
they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
They just continually elevate until point of perfection.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Right. That's why we have so many problems. Okay.
Yeah, because everything's run by men with brains in their testicles.
Oh, that's why Britain's in a mess. Wait a minute. Let's see the British leader in England. That would be a woman. The leader in Scotland. Scotland's a bit of a state. That would be a woman as well. Let's see. Germany's falling apart. That would be a woman as well. Let's see. The only strong European country right now is Italy, led by a man who said, "No more immigrants, please," and has sent them all back. Haha. There you go. So
And it's a strong country, right?
at the moment, it's getting stronger because it was so weak that all the bridges fucking fell apart because the leftists took over and they spent all the money on diversity rather than infrastructure. Spazzes that they are. Anyway,
Everything that's broken or is breaking is either run by government or a woman. No, it doesn't say that.
or a man with his
everything-
dick in his hand.
Everything that's broken or is breaking is either run by government or has a heavy government footprint on it. Public education, healthcare, student loans, social security, pensions. I almost read something else there. Federal,
Penises.
state and local budgets. Government is the cause of your problems, he said.
Yeah, so therefore, ask. And that was his post this morning. And of course, it doesn't deal with any statistics, but the general idea is that.
Yeah, it doesn't really give you any constructive criticism, does it?
Yeah, but he spends his entire working life giving constructive criticism. He is. He has a daily radio show and podcast, and he appears on the major news networks and programs with a rather sane and sensible perspective.
You know, I'm feeling a bit stronger.
What, stronger than you were an hour ago?
Yeah, just a bit. It's still going to suck today, but I feel like I can do it. I'm not going to be extremely... what's the word?
Extreme?
I'll not perform as well as I usually perform, but...
Oh, are you giving a performance today?
Yeah.
Can I watch?
Yeah, sure. There's
Yeah.
a little telly that you can watch me on.
I do see that sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Well, there's a little
Really?
telly. There's you're monitored, you know,
Yeah,
everywhere you go.
monitored. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to break any records today like I did last week, but I'll still
Well,
put
you
the
have to.
effort in.
All you have to do is break the record to break the record.
Yeah, I know. I'm
It's
not
just
feeling.
a decision.
I'm not feeling strong enough today, but I'll do my best, and that's all I can do.
Yeah, I fucking hate that statement.
Sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just, that's the thing about the fitness thing, right? The fitness thing is that you're not going to do your 120% every day. You're just not. You can put everything.
Well, 100%'s enough.
You can put everything you've got into it. I mean, I put everything I got into my yesterday's workout, and it still sucked.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what the Marines will tell you about that?
No, I don't. I don't speak to the Marines.
Yeah, they go like 40%. When you give your all, it's usually around 40% for the average person.
Mm.
And that if you push yourself, you could do the whole thing again.
I could.
Exactly.
I
If you
know I
push yourself,
could.
you could. Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows they could. They could do. If if their life depended upon it, right?
Yeah,
They
but
could go and do the whole
but
thing
my
again.
life doesn't depend on it, so there's no need to injure myself or to to completely like kill myself for the
Okay,
rest
well,
of the
here's an
day,
argument for
right?
you.
I have
Here's-
to be fit for the long run. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Yes.
You don't know if your life depends on it. You don't.
Well, my life depends on it in the sense that that's why I'm doing it, right? I'm exercising because I want to be healthy, and I don't want to die when I'm 55 of hypertension and heart failure. Okay, so my heart does depend on it. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I don't need to push myself one day and then write myself off for the entire week because I've pushed myself too hard. I exercise with, knowing that I'm going to do it again tomorrow, and knowing that I still have to have enough energy in the evening to work, and knowing that I still need to be able to move my legs so that I can deal with the kids and kind of pace
I
yourself.
still need to be able to move my legs.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah, I did.
Or other times when you can't move your legs.
I have actually had a workout once, or well, a couple of times, but the last one that was like that was in the summer with my mother,
You can't move your legs.
and I had a workout where I did so many squats that I honestly couldn't walk normally. I walked like a clown or a puppet or something, and my thighs were so sore. They were still sore the next week when I went to the same class.
Mm-hmm.
They've only just started to be not sore. There was still a little bit of soreness lingering, but they were honestly, I've never had, usually your usual muscle pain after a workout lasts for about 3 days. This was so brutal. My legs were sore for a week. It was more like it felt more like an injury than your usual muscle soreness. So yeah, I still need to be able to use my legs.
Yeah, well, squatting to the point of paralysis is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. I could, I could squat.
Yeah,
to
but
the
you
point of
recovered. You
paralysis.
survived,
I
right?
did.
mean, it's not like it didn't kill
I
you.
did, but it wasn't exactly a positive thing. You wanna work out in a way that it has a positive influence on you, rather than injuring yourself and then not be able to work out or whatever.
Yeah, you want to be progressive, but I think you want to push yourself as well.
I think yoga is great in the way that it's exercise where you have to push yourself, but you also have to be patient with yourself, and you can't push yourself too much or you'll freaking, tear something.
Yeah, I don't.
I was talking to somebody about it. It's like, I know you don't like yoga, but that's probably because you've never done it.
Fuck you.
No, you've never.
I've done my fair share of yoga.
No, you
you
haven't.
spat. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about right now. You've just opened your mouth and just pushed out a whole lot of hot air that's not even remotely true. I have done yoga way over 100 times in my life. Way over.
And you don't like it because
It bores me.
it bores you.
Yeah, I'm really bored. Because I like to be physically active. Yeah, I like to do the stupid kid thing of just running around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like to run and have motion and movement, and I like, there to be maybe a ball involved or something like that, right? And yoga does not have running around with a ball or something like that, right?
Okay.
There's nothing to chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it bores me instantly. It really does. Like I need to move. I need the movement. This is the kind of character I am. I need that.
We have different types
So-
of yoga.
So, the jogging yoga and the swimming yoga and the football yoga. No. It's all this. I don't like the don't take the wrong meaning of this word, but the passive element of it. And I'm like, I know it's not passive because you're working the muscles of the body, and I get the flexibility element and the strengthening of the muscles element. And look, I've done yoga with maybe 5 different yoga teachers.
Okay.
And so this idea that I haven't done it when I've done lots of it, I've probably had more yoga teachers than you. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had any yoga teacher.
So, so I see where.
Okay, I'm sorry that I say
fits
you
in.
haven't done it. You obviously have done it when I wasn't watching.
Done it lots of times. Remember, I've had at least 4 clients who were yoga teachers.
Okay. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you've done yoga with them, though, right?
But I have.
Okay.
Uh,
I like yoga because it's different. I like exercising in different ways, right? I like the explosive strength exercises, all the jumps and the boxing.
I've done acro yoga. You haven't done that.
No, I haven't.
I've done
You've
acro
been at
yoga
that
with an
festival.
instructor.
You've been at that festival.
And I did the festival as well. You see, I did the health festival. I did the acro yoga. Done a hell of a lot of different kinds of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that interested me was the acro yoga. But even then, I found it not active enough for me.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, it's extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need like the strength of a gymnast.
I'd like to do the pole dancing.
Oh, fuck off, that's porn.
What?
That's porn, that's what porn stars do. That comes from, the striptease stage shows.
I know it comes from the striptease. It doesn't matter. It's freaking so strengthening.
It's so bloody pointless.
It doesn't matter.
How practical is that for your life?
How practical?
How many times?
How practical is squatting? How practical is lifting weights? How practical is biking on a bicycle to nowhere in the middle of your bedroom?
Well, because you can't go outside because the weather's too fucking awful.
Yes, but
'cause
what
it's
do you do
pissing
it
down
for?
with rain.
You do it for your fitness, right?
Yes, that's great. That's
It's
enough.
not a practical skill. You're just doing it for fitness.
No, that's. I can argue the opposite of that if you want, right? Which is that you need it. That just doing it for fitness could be enough to save your life.
Yes, but it's the same with the pole fitness.
A pole's not going to fucking save your life
It's going to make you strong.
unless it's somebody from Poland.
It's the pole fitness is gonna make you
Oh,
strong.
when the hell are you gonna?
It's a great strength. What?
At
It's
least
the
riding
same
a
like-
bike is a fucking
Listen,
practical
it's the
activity. How many poles do you have to fucking dance around in your daily life?
It's the
Like
same.
0.
It's the same like going to the gym and lifting weights or.
It's not. Strength is practical for life.
Yes.
Hanging
exactly.
upside down, extending your leg has got fuck all to do with anything that is any practical.
Do you know how much
use.
strength that builds? Do you know how much strength it takes to hang upside down with your stretched up leg?
I don't know. Ask a fucking bat. I don't know because that's who should be doing it, not people.
That's how my sister learns how to do a pull up. Learned.
It's just weird.
It's weird.
Put it in the acro yoga category, yeah. Or that one, the what's it called? Flying yoga.
My
Yeah.
gosh, other men would be jumping like meter 20 if their wife told them she wants to learn pole dancing.
Yeah, they'd obviously be fucking stupid to have that reaction, in my opinion. Seriously, seriously.
I think it would be real fun to build strength.
Well, then when you fall on your head and break your neck, that would be just awesome.
Oh, so you're worried about my safety?
No, I just think the whole activity is stupid. It's swinging round and round a pole, hanging upside down, stretching out your leg. Doesn't sound like anything which is extremely practical. Look at it.
Fun. Sounds like it's a fun way to work out.
It sounds like you spend more time standing trying to work out how you'd be hanging than actually doing anything.
Well, you obviously don't know anything about it because you've never done it. So how can you say that?
Well, do you mean I don't know anything about it? You're just pushing out hot air.
It's because you've not. I mean,
That's not an argument. You don't know. You've never done it, so you don't know anything about it.
You're saying it's
actually
just
not an
standing
argument.
around. It's like standing around thinking how you're gonna hang. Well, it's obviously not. I mean, that's obviously not
Well, then
true.
after you go and do it, then you can come back to me and say that you were wrong.
Okay.
Where it would be like one of those things where it's like 50% of the time is spent not doing the activity.
Okay.
The great thing about being on the
fitness class in Elgin. Then
Yeah,
I'll let you know
and
what
you
it was
can
like.
go and join all the fat fuckers hanging upside down, risking their lives.
Probably
Right.
stronger than I am.
They need some special reinforced poles in this country, I'll tell you that.
You're so judgmental.
It's not judgmental to point out the obvious.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not.
half of those fat fucks, as you call them, are stronger than you are.
The fatter.
So?
Well, with weight comes a certain level of strength.
I knew a woman in our boxing class in Slovakia who you would call fat.
Mm-hmm.
And she would kick your fucking ass because she was so fit.
Yeah, I'm not saying fat people are useless. Just saying they're fat. Just pointing out the obvious.
Well, I'm pointing out that fat people can be fitter than you are.
No, that's not really an argument because it's like, oh, this car could be faster than that car. Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it's just like some kind of insult, I suppose.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm just trying to address the contempt with which you talk about fat people.
What, fat people are fat?
No. I was talking about the contempt in your voice that you use when you're talking about fat people.
Yeah, I was just imagining fat Scottish people pole dancing. What's wrong with that? I mean, there are fat people. There are pole dancers. There are pole dancing classes. I was imagining fat Scottish people on poles. No, you're imagining
Now,
it.
how
It's
often
funny.
do you imagine that?
Well, this is the first time I've imagined it.
You imagine some weird things.
What? Like, how am I supposed to imagine it? Like, oh, Scottish women pole dancing. Well, half of them are overweight. And statistically,
to-
you can find out the real
never mind.
statistics. You can
Look,
read the statistics.
going to
half
book
of them
a
are overweight. They're real statistics.
I'm going to book a pole dancing class. Okay.
Excellent.
I'm going
And
to
then
Google it right now.
And then you're going to come back and you're going to go, you know, you were
And
right.
then I'm going to tell you
I'm
about
going to
it
enjoy it. What a waste
during the
of,
next podcast.
What a waste of space.
Okay. We'll
Look,
do
why don't you
a podcast thing.
why don't you invite all the homeschool women to do it with you?
Look,
Okay, if it's so good, why don't you
I
invite
don't
all
know
the
if it's
homes?
good. I've never done it.
Well, why don't you all go and have that experience? You can tell, and then you've got a get out clause because you've never done it before,
Elgin.
so you don't know if it's going to be a good thing or not.
Pole fitness, Elgin. There you go.
There you go. Of course, there'll be one naturally, because there's insanity
Elgin
everywhere.
Park.
Oh,
Unit 4.
Oh, did they do it outdoor? Can you come and watch?
Fitness
that'd be fun.
Center.
Is this your first time? Okay. Now, don't go too high.
Anytime Fitness. Get to a healthier place, it says.
Anytime.
Oh, it's at the gym. It's at the 24-hour gym I told you about.
What the fuck was all that clicking about?
Do they do... Yeah, but do they actually do the pole thing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, look, I'll stick a pole up in the garden for you, and you can practice.
I need to go to the loo again. Okay.
Well, that wasn't really a real question, was it? And off she goes with her phone, scrolling through it, looking for pole fitness classes, which are not going to solve any problems, perhaps even create them. Such is life. Off she goes. Not even a bye to the world. Not even a TTFN. That's the way it goes, I suppose. When nature calls, it calls. Can't get the deep voice going. There we go. Welcome to the show. Hold on. Strap yourselves in. There we go. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, enjoy your day. Run it all your way. That's it. I think I'm going to finish it here. She's gone off. She's probably not coming back. I paused it so that you could say goodbye.
I just want to say that I've
You've booked a pole dancing class.
no, they do pole dancing, but because it's Scotland.
They do it with swords.
No.
They do it with silly music.
No.
With the high knees.
No.
Skirts.
No.
Tartan. Shortbread. Whiskey. Haggis.
No.
Black pudding.
No, they dance around dolphins. No.
With dolphins. do it with dolphins is better. Sharks.
No, actually.
Seals.
Shut up.
Whales.
Shut up. Because
Fishing
it's Scotland.
boats. They do it
There's-
on boats.
There's no information about it on the internet. And you can't book it on the internet. So I have to call them.
You cannot get your own pole.
Well,
Would
like
it
a
not be-
Polish person.
Would it not be cheaper to get your own pole?
Well, no, because first I need to see how it's done, right?
Oh, it's just YouTube videos.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What's wrong with a fucking YouTube video? What's the difference between a YouTube video? You probably get more detailed data, choice, and instruction from a YouTube video than you do from going to some dumbass class. Click, dude, it done. Bang.
You're just being stupid. Okay.
Pole dancing with haggis. It would be a hit.
It would be a total hit, yes. Why don't we get haggis and get the haggis pole dance?
Because haggis is not a fucking animal, you spaz.
Oh, okay. Dolphins could pole dance around sharks.
Now you're, bless you. Now you're just being silly.
Ah, because you're being intelligent.
Yes,
Okay.
naturally.
What? Oh, that is. Oh shit! Is that what this podcast is supposed to be about? Oh, sorry, got that wrong.
Well, yeah, I know. I've been trying to teach you, but you weren't listening.
Ah dear. Okay.
That's it.
Bye bye. Oh, what's that? That's nice.
That's Conor McGregor.
He's got a child. That's nice. Whatever that is.
Yes, that little thing next to him is a child.
I mean, whoever him is.
You don't know who that is?
No.
Oh my god.
Some person that boxes.
You don't know who Conor McGregor is?
He's a boxer.
You really don't know.
He's a boxer. Is he?
He is he's
follow
one of the
boxers?
top MMA fighters.
Do you follow boxers on the Instagram?
No, I follow Conor McGregor, you spoon. Who is known as the Notorious Mama.
Sorry. The what?
Look, it's there. The Notorious... Oh, MMA.
Oh.
The Notorious MMA Mama.
He's not the notorious mama.
The Notorious Mama would be fucking cool. That would be so I was thinking, that's so cool. I was thinking, that's so cool he's the Notorious Mama. It's like, I'm just like some kind of bad motherfucker.
He's obviously
mess
not
with
a
me.
mama, right? He could be a dada.
Mama, as in motherfucker. Yes, Baz.
Mama doesn't mean motherfucker.
I didn't say it did. I thought he was being cool and trendy and off the wall and just different
And meanwhile, you just don't know how to read.
Yes, yeah. I put an extra letter in that's not there.
It's okay. Happens to the best of us.
There you go.
It reminds me of my old boxing gym. Because I had those classes for the kids.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is kickboxing for kids.
I know.
You want to see more of Connor?
Yeah, show me.
Oh,
Beer.
Where's his page?
Beer.
Can I
Just
not
clicked
go
on his story, I guess.
How do I get his page then?
I don't know.
How do I get to if I click on?
Don't click on the circle. Click on the words.
Ah, there you go.
See?
Look, there he is. Oh, look, there he is with Tony Robbins. I saw he did that the other day.
Well, they're massaging each other's egos.
Rather expensive egos to massage. Oh, look, that's a nice picture.
Well, woman with an ass.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
That's exactly why they put it there.
yeah,
Look at him looking at that ass.
yeah. Why doesn't your ass look like that?
It's like, ooh, look at that ass.
Why doesn't your ass look like that?
Because you don't look like him.
What? I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Are you?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, look, ball pit.
Is that like a group of men together?
No. It's the actual ball pit.
Oh, look, bagpipes. Oh, it's a busy man. Oh, look, seals.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Not the singer.
No, because there's only one. Yeah,
That's yoga, look.
yeah, I'm not sure that he does that much yoga. But he's definitely does a lot of resistance training, that's for sure.
Probably. It looks like somebody hit him in the face multiple times.
Oh, it's funny that happens to MMA fighters.
I guess it does. Doesn't
See,
look too happy in this picture.
he's probably been clocked one.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Say bye to the world.
Are you going to have a tattoo on your chest like that as well?
No.
You can have a beard like that.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yes. No.
Bye bye.
Oh, done. Bye to the world.